Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm sharing my 30-day journey with creatine. I know a lot of you were curious about my experience, the results I got, and whether I think it's worth it. So in this video, I'm breaking down everything that happened, from the very first scoop to my final thoughts. We'll cover the highs, the lows, and all the nitty-gritty details you need to know. Let's dive right in. So I started this journey at 160 pounds. I had been working out consistently for a few years, but I felt like I had hit a plateau. My strength gains were minimal, and my muscle mass wasn't increasing as much as I wanted. I knew I needed to try something new to push past this barrier. Now, I've always been pretty diligent about my protein intake, making sure to get enough protein from both my diet and supplements. I would drink protein shakes after my workouts and ensure I was eating protein-rich meals throughout the day. But despite all this, I felt like something was missing. But creatine was a whole new world for me, my first real foray into the world of supplements beyond protein powder. I had heard a lot about creatine from fellow gym goers and fitness enthusiasts, but I had never really considered it for myself. The idea of taking another supplement seemed daunting at first. I wanted to make sure I was doing things right, so I did my research. I spent hours reading articles, watching videos, and even talking to a few trainers at my gym. I wanted to understand how creatine worked, how it could benefit me, and what the potential risks were. Knowledge is power, and I wanted to be fully informed before making any decisions. I read up on different types of creatine, potential side effects, and what to expect. There were so many options out there: creatine monohydrate, creatine ethyl ester, buffered creatine, and more. Each type had its own set of benefits and drawbacks, and it was important for me to choose the right one for my needs. Ultimately, I decided to go with micronized creatine monohydrate from a reputable brand. This type of creatine is known for its high absorption rate and effectiveness. Plus, it had been extensively researched and proven to be safe and beneficial for muscle growth and strength gains. I wanted to make sure I was getting a high-quality product that I could trust. After all, if I was going to invest time and money into this supplement, I wanted to see real results. With my creatine in hand, I was ready to take my fitness journey to the next level and see just how much progress I could make. Now, one of the things I learned during my research was the concept of a loading phase. Basically, this involves taking a higher dose of creatine for the first week or so to saturate your muscles faster. It's not strictly necessary, but I figured it couldn't hurt. So for the first 5 days, I took 20 grams of creatine per day, split into two 10-gram doses. I'd have one 10-gram serving before my workout and another 10-gram serving after. The idea was to maximize my muscle creatine stores as quickly as possible. Now, I had everything planned out perfectly. I was going to hit the gym hard, follow my training program, and really put this creatine to the test. But as you guys know, life had other plans. The coronavirus pandemic hit, and gyms across the country were forced to close their doors. Just like that, my carefully crafted gym routine went out the window. It was definitely a curveball, and I had to adjust my plans. Instead of training at the gym, I was stuck working out at home with limited equipment. Chapter 4. Adjusting my creatine intake. The gym closures weren't the only hiccup I encountered. With the pandemic affecting our daily routines, I had to rethink my entire fitness regimen. The closure of gyms meant I had to adapt to home workouts, which was a significant change, but that wasn't the only challenge. Initially, I planned to take that full 20 grams of creatine every day for the entire loading phase. This is a common approach to quickly saturate the muscles with creatine. However, I soon realized that this plan was a bit too ambitious for my current situation. Mixing the creatine with my protein shakes seemed like a good idea at first, but the sheer volume of liquid I had to consume became overwhelming. I found myself feeling bloated and uncomfortable, which was counterproductive to my fitness goals. It was just too much volume to comfortably consume. Drinking large protein shakes multiple times a day, each loaded with creatine, was not sustainable. I needed to find a balance that worked for me without causing discomfort. So, by day 3, I decided to scale back my intake to 10 grams per day. This adjustment made a significant difference. I split the dosage into 2 smaller servings, which were much easier to handle. This felt much more manageable and sustainable for me. I could enjoy my protein shakes without the added stress of consuming too much creatine at once. My workouts became more enjoyable, and I felt more energized. I stuck with this 10-gram dose for a total of 10 days. During this period, I kept a close eye on my progress, noting any changes in my performance and how I felt overall. This approach allowed me to maintain a consistent intake without overwhelming my system. Chapter 5. Finding my long-term routine. After those initial 10 days, I decided to further reduce my creatine intake. From day 11 onwards, I settled into a more long-term routine of 3 to 5 grams per day. This felt like the sweet spot for me. It was enough to maintain those creatine stores without any digestive discomfort. Plus, with the gym still closed, I wasn't training at the same intensity as I normally would, so I didn't feel the need for a super high dose. Chapter 6. Strength gains on creatine. Now let's talk about the results. When I first started taking creatine, I was curious but skeptical. Would it really make a difference in my strength and performance? I decided to document my journey meticulously, tracking every workout, every lift, and every rep. Did I notice any strength gains? Absolutely. Within the first week, I felt a subtle but noticeable increase in my energy levels during workouts. It wasn't a dramatic change, but enough to make me feel more confident and motivated. Before starting creatine, my 1-rep max on the bench press was 225 pounds. This was a weight I had struggled with for months, unable to push past this plateau despite consistent training and a solid diet. By March 29th, just a few weeks into my creatine journey, I hit a new personal best of 226 pounds. It might not sound like a huge leap, but for anyone who's been stuck at a plateau, even a single pound can feel like a monumental achievement. And here's the thing, it felt easier. The weight moved more smoothly and I didn't feel as fatigued afterward. This was a significant indicator that something was working. That extra pound wasn't a grinder. It didn't feel like I was pushing my body to its absolute limit. Instead, it felt like I had more in the tank, more strength to give. It went up smoother than ever before. This smoothness in lifting was a new experience for me, and it was incredibly encouraging. Now it's important to note that this was just a 1-pound increase, so take it with a grain of salt. However, the qualitative difference in how the lift felt was undeniable. It wasn't just about the numbers, it was about the overall experience. But the ease with which I lifted it, combined with the fact that I was training at home with less than ideal equipment, suggests that creatine was playing a role. My home gym setup isn't perfect. It's far from the professional equipment you'd find at a commercial gym. Yet, despite these limitations, I was making progress. I also paid close attention to my creatine intake, ensuring I was consistent with my dosage. I took it daily, mixing it into my post-workout shake. Consistency, as with any supplement, is key to seeing results. Over the weeks, I noticed other subtle changes too. My recovery times improved, and I felt less sore after intense workouts. This allowed me to train more frequently and with higher intensity, further contributing to my strength gains. I kept a detailed log of my workouts, noting down not just the weights and reps, but also how I felt during and after each session. This helped me see the gradual improvements and stay motivated. In conclusion, while the numerical gains might seem modest, the overall impact of creatine on my strength and performance was significant. It wasn't just about lifting heavier, it was about feeling stronger, more energetic, and more capable in every workout. Chapter 7. Strength gains weren't the only noticeable change. I also experienced some impressive muscle growth. Despite working out at home with limited weights, I saw significant increases in my biceps and chest size. My arms felt fuller, and my chest looked more developed. Now I can't definitively attribute all of this growth to creatine alone. My training and nutrition were still on point, but the timing of this growth spurt, coinciding with my creatine supplementation, suggests that it definitely played a role. Now I know there's a lot of talk about creatine and hair loss. It's a common concern, and I'll admit I was a little worried about it myself. But I can confidently say that I experienced absolutely no hair loss during my 30 days on creatine. My hair is just as thick and full as it was before. Of course, everyone's different, and I can only speak from my own experience, but for me, hair loss was not an issue. So, where do I go from here? Well, I'm definitely going to continue taking creatine. I'm happy with the results I've seen so far, and I'm excited to see what I can achieve with longer-term use. I'm also planning on experimenting with different creatine cycling protocols to see what works best for me. If you guys are interested in hearing more about my creatine journey, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to keep you updated. Overall, I'm incredibly impressed with creatine. It's a safe, effective, and affordable supplement that can help you build muscle and strength. Now, it's not a magic pill. You still need to put in the work in the gym or at home and eat a balanced diet. But if you're looking for an extra edge, creatine is definitely worth considering. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more evidence-based fitness content. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video informative and insightful. If you're considering trying creatine, I encourage you to do your own research and see if it's right for you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments if you want to see more updates on my creatine journey.